Before you move on, listen carefully. Perhaps this moment holds more meaning than it first appears. Something in your heart has been asking quiet questions, and now the answer is about to meet you. Today, those silent questions will not remain in the shadows. I know you almost kept scrolling. Part of you thought this moment could wait for another time. But some moments are not meant to be postponed, and this is one of them. What you are hearing now is not careless language or passing emotion. These words are placed before you with intention, shaped for the exact place your soul has been carrying quietly. You may feel that this message met you at a meaningful moment, as if your heart was ready to hear it. Before your first memories formed, before your eyes learned the difference between darkness and light, before anyone around you imagined the direction your life would take, this moment already existed within a greater purpose. Many things in life appear to happen through simple timing, yet Scripture reminds us, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. There are hours prepared long before we recognize their meaning, moments when heaven waits patiently until the heart becomes still enough to truly hear. Sometimes, truth must wait until pride softens, until disappointment humbles the spirit, until silence finally creates room for something deeper to enter. And that is where you have been standing lately. If these words speak to your heart, you may quietly write, "Jesus, I trust you," in the comments as a simple expression of faith. Sometimes a simple expression of faith becomes the moment someone chooses hope again. And perhaps that is why your mind has been so full lately, heavy with thoughts, questions, and quiet burdens, some heavy, some confusing, some shaped by wounds you carried longer than you should have had to. Pain has often spoken louder, polite answers, beneath the smiles given out of habit. I have always seen the deeper story. I have heard the quiet strength it took for you to keep moving when part of your heart was asking for rest. I have seen every moment when you pushed forward while inwardly longing for relief. Nothing about those hidden struggles escaped my sight. And if you begin to understand that truth, something powerful starts to change, because the same presence that watched over your hardest nights has known you from the very beginning. Long before your mother ever heard the rhythm of your heartbeat, your name was already known in heaven. Your name was already known in heaven. Before your life had shape on this earth, your identity was already held in my understanding. Your story did not begin the day people first saw you. It began earlier, far earlier, within a purpose that existed before time ever taught your heart what fear feels like. Before expectations surrounded you, before family history began shaping your path, before the world placed its weight on your shoulders, I knew you fully. Scripture declares this truth clearly. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Jeremiah 1-5. Every season you would walk through, every question you would carry, every moment when you would need a reminder like this, I saw it long before you lived it. And when I spoke your name, it was not with hesitation. It was spoken with intention, with love, and with complete awareness of the road ahead. Your doubts did not surprise me. Your struggles did not change my decision. Even the moments when you questioned your own worth were already known before they ever reached your thoughts. I knew the chapters where you would feel lost, and still I called you into life, because purpose always existed before pain appeared. The difficulties you remember did not come first. What was written about you came first. Your name was placed where no shadow can erase it. Yet many times the darkness around you has tried to teach you something different. It whispers that the deepest wounds must also define who you are. It suggests that failure speaks louder than purpose. But pain has never had authority to rewrite what I established from the beginning. The mistakes you remember cannot remove what heaven recorded. The regrets you carry cannot undo what love already decided. Some days, your own thoughts speak against you so strongly that you begin to imagine distance where there is none, rejection where there is none, abandonment where there has never been any. But your identity was never built on shifting emotions. What I wrote about your life does not change when a season becomes difficult. The shadows that pass through sentence, an unexpected pause. These are sometimes the places where understanding begins to open. So remain here a little longer, because the answer you imagined would arrive through something dramatic may already be speaking in the quiet space you almost overlooked. And as you remain attentive, you may begin to notice that something has already started changing around you, even if you cannot fully explain it yet. There has been a quiet movement within your life, and if you rush past this moment, you may miss why your spirit has felt so unsettled lately. You have sensed that something is different. Certain feelings have returned again and again, and some thoughts linger longer than they once did. Things that once satisfied you no longer seem to fill the same place in your heart. Familiar routines feel lighter, almost empty. Emotions appear without a clear reason. But this restlessness is not meaningless. Often, it is in these very moments that deeper work begins beneath the surface, beyond what the mind can immediately understand. Sometimes I loosen the grip of what once felt comfortable, so your attention can return to what truly matters. Not every discomfort is a sign of something wrong. Sometimes it is the signal that something new is beginning. A season inside your life may be quietly closing, while another prepares to unfold. Scripture speaks of this rhythm when it says, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it?" Isaiah 43:19. Before something new becomes visible, the heart often feels the shift first. I have seen the tears you tried to hide, the moments when you wiped your face quickly so no one would ask questions. I saw the times disappointment settled inside you, while you continued speaking as if everything was normal. I heard the questions you kept locked inside, questions about why certain doors closed, why some relationships changed, why answers seemed delayed, and why strength sometimes felt harder to find. None of those moments were hidden from me. Silence does not conceal pain. Quiet endurance is still fully visible. Every moment of confusion, every unanswered question, every private sigh has been known. And because I have seen it all, I am not speaking from distance. I speak as the one who was present in every hidden moment you thought no one noticed. Not everyone will pause long enough to hear this. Many will pass by quickly because their hearts are not searching the way yours is right now. But you remained. Something inside you recognized that these words touched a place you have not been able to explain, even to yourself. There is a reason your attention stayed here when it could have moved elsewhere. The Spirit recognizes when truth approaches a wound that still needs light. And that is why this moment matters. Stay with this message until the end, because the final part may offer a helpful perspective on the pain you have recently carried. Some answers do not arrive all at once. Certain truths unfold slowly, because the heart understands deeply only when it stays long enough for meaning to settle. What has hurt you recently has stirred questions that deserve clarity, and those questions will not remain unanswered. As this message continues, you may begin to see that even what wounded you has not escaped purpose, and even what confused you has never placed your life outside my hand. My child, this moment may be more meaningful than it seems. Before you ever paused here, before your eyes met these words, before your mind decided whether to stay or move on, this encounter was already known. What seems like an ordinary pause in your day is not ordinary at all. Some moments pass without lasting weight, but others are prepared long before they arrive, moments that carry something your heart truly needs. It is easy to call things coincidence when you cannot yet see how carefully your days are woven together. Yet I do not speak without intention. I do not interrupt your attention without purpose. Scripture reminds us, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Psalm 37:23. Even pauses that seem small can become turning points when the heart is ready to listen. This moment carries more meaning than you realize, because I know the quiet fatigue your spirit has been carrying. I have seen the strength you used to keep moving, even when your heart felt heavy. Others may have seen your smile or heard your answers, but they could not see the weight behind your eyes. Yet nothing about that exhaustion escaped my sight. There were mornings when you woke, already burdened by yesterday's worries. Hours when saw the tiredness you tried to hide. I saw the way silence sometimes felt safer than explaining what you were feeling. Because heaven does not only watch what people do, it also sees what they quietly endure. That is why this moment could not be ignored. Your heart has reached a place where distraction is no longer enough. You have passed many voices, many messages, many empty words. But today something deeper is calling for your attention. There are seasons when continuing without pause begins to damage the heart, because when truth is absent for too long, fear starts to sound convincing, doubt begins to feel logical. Silence begins to look like proof that nothing is changing. But those thoughts are not the final story. So this moment interrupts your movement, not to burden you, but to bring clarity before those quiet lies grow stronger. You may feel as though you came across this message unexpectedly, yet it speaks directly to where your heart is now. Long before this minute arrived, the condition of your heart was already known. I know the questions you have pushed aside because they felt too heavy to face. I know the places where disappointment quietly settled. I know where hope became cautious and where you continued speaking normally while wondering why some things still felt unfinished inside. And that is why this word came searching for you. Love does not remain silent when the heart begins to drift beneath silent weight. There have already been signs placed along your path, small moments you noticed but did not fully understand, a thought that returned unexpectedly, a memory that surfaced without warning, a quiet heaviness when you were alone, a strange pull towards stillness when life around you felt loud. Those moments may not have been empty. Often they were gentle signals meant to draw your attention. But life can become so loud that those quiet invitations are easily missed. Responsibilities demand your focus. Fatigue makes reflection difficult. Survival of the day becomes more urgent than listening deeply to what your spirit is sensing. Yet, patience remained, because the moment would eventually come when your attention needed to stop. And perhaps this is one of those moments. This may be more than just another message passing through your day. It can serve as a timely reminder, because many voices compete for your attention, but not every voice knows your soul. Many words are spoken around you, yet few carry the truth your heart actually needs. But when truth approaches, something inside you recognizes it. That quiet hesitation you felt before leaving, that subtle feeling that you should stay a little longer, that sense that these words somehow touch something deeper within you that is not random. The spirit often recognizes truth before the mind fully understands it. You have been moving through many thoughts, tasks, worries, and responsibilities, while quietly postponing what your soul has needed most. You told yourself you would slow down later, rest later, reflect later, understand later, but sometimes later never becomes free enough. When the heart carries unanswered questions for too long, those questions follow into every new